Hello guys and welcome back to another of our courses about Forex, the complete introduction. So in today's class we are gonna talk about our first way of making the analysis of a certain currency, and this will be the fundamental analysis. So my goal in this course is really to give you an introduction to this type of analysis. So what is fundamental analysis? Theoretically, it's something very simple. It's simply a way of looking at forex markets by analyzing different types of data, which could be economical, social, or political data that will have an effect on the supply or the demand of on the supply and demand of a certain currency. In this case, this is very general. So let me just give you an example. Let's say, for example, that the interest rate. Let's take the interest rate, for example. Let's say the interest rate goes up. This means that the certain currency that is associated with the central bank that put it up the interest rate will simply become stronger. This means that there will be less loans because the interest rate is higher. This means people will invest more in the market of bonds because the interest rate is higher. This means people will invest less in the stock market because they can gain more money by investing in bonds with the less risk. And this will have a direct effect on the currency as well, since all those markets are linked to the currency, to the forex market of the certain country. So let's say this happens in the US, the interest rate goes up. Well, necessarily because of all those factors, the US dollar will become way stronger. Same thing if, for example, the interest rate goes down. Well, the US dollar technically and once again theoretically will go down because of all those factors. And the interest rate is just one between many of them, but it's a way to calculate to see, for example, to see that the currency will become stronger or weaker. Another way to explain what is fundamental analysis, it could be looking at all the macroeconomics around a certain country. So for example, let's say I analyze the US versus Europe, so the euro versus the USD dollar. I will look at macroeconomical data for the US and also for the countries in Europe, the biggest countries that are in the European Union. And this way I'll be able to have an idea about what's gonna happen in the markets. How this type of analysis can affect trading? It can directly affect trading. So let's say, for example, let's take right now, which is we are in the time of COVID-19 when I'm shooting this class. For example, the COVID-19 had a direct effect on all the markets. If you looked at, let's say, the stock market, the US stock market, you could see that it never been so low. It went really down and then it come back up. Same thing for the currencies. The volatility on the markets has never been so strong. So the currencies, there is a lot of uncertainty when huge things happen like this. So as you can see, fundamentals can be a set of it could be a lot of things that are included in fundamental analysis, but principally how it will affect trading, as I said, it will increase volatility, it will move the price to extreme areas, so it can go really high as well as it can go really low. So it's something really strong. It can't be neglected, and it's all around macroeconomics. It's not something like technical analysis that is very let's say on chart. It's something that is very general and very around politics, all economical stuff, all social stuff. What are the things that are taken in consideration in fundamental analysis? So as I mentioned before, it could be, as I said, let's say political data. Let's say we talk about all the problems that are happening in the world. Let's say a country invades another country. Well, necessarily this will have an effect on their currencies. Let's say a country is in a economical warfare with another country. So there is an economical war between two countries. This will have an effect on currencies. What else? It could be something as simple as a tweet of the actual US president, which is Donald Trump. Let's say he puts a tweet. Well, this will have a direct effect on the USD dollar. Not only on the forex, well, it will not only have an effect on the forex market, but also on the stock market. If we talk about all social data, let's say the unemployment rate goes up or down. Let's say the interest rate goes up or goes down. Let's say, for example, a certain sector that performed well in the past quarter right now doesn't perform well. Well, it's gonna have an effect, a huge effect on currencies, on the currency of the country. So there is a lot of things that can be included in fundamental analysis, as I'm explaining, but mostly of the things can be economical, social, or political. So those are the three main things that are included in fundamental analysis. But there is a lot of small things that are included in those big main things. So those are all the things that can affect the fundamental analysis, and that we will have to look for if we want to make a complete forex analysis of our chart. So for example, if we want to make a complete analysis, the first thing that we will do is make a fundamental analysis. Then after that, to enter the markets, we'll make a technical analysis, and then we'll enter the markets. And if our fundamentals and our technicals are telling us to go in the same direction, for example, it will go up, well, this you have more chances to have a winning trade than if the fundamentals doesn't support your technicals. Last thing, is there other types of analysis? Yes, there are other types of analysis. You have technical analysis and sentimental analysis as well that exist. We're gonna talk about, well, in this course we're gonna talk mostly about fundamentals and technicals. What are technicals? Technicals, we are gonna talk about it in the next few classes, but usually it's very different. Which fundamental is very like macroeconomic. It's all about news, it's all about what's happening in the world, it's all about what's happening in the country and everything. And technical, it's all about the graph. So we are just working with the graph. It's very let's say it this way, it's very microeconomic. It's very on the graph, not like the fundamentals, which are really about the whole situation, the whole, let's say, country and everything in general. It's not it's not precise as it's for the technical analysis. So right now you understand what is the fundamental analysis, and we'll talk a bit more in details about it in our next classes.